Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
A weekend of violence in Hartford has neighbors on edge. 5 shootings in the city left 2 people dead and several others hurt. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden. Some of these shootings happened outside restaurants and nightclubs, while others remain under investigation. Police say gun violence is down compared to last year, but people we talked to say this surge is concerning. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules walks us through what unfolded over the last few days and the impact it's having on the community.
A weekend of violence in Hartford has some neighbors on edge. Some people in the area say they're afraid to even go outside. Broken glass can be seen on the outside of the Perea y Sabores restaurant on Franklin Avenue in Hartford, where police say a shooting happened Sunday morning just after 1 o'clock. The shooting left 1 person hurt.
Too much. It's too much, you know.
A mother in the area who wanted to remain off camera says after this shooting and other issues in the neighborhood, she's too scared to let her kids go outside alone.
Me as a parent, I walk my son to school and pick him up from school, and you know, I'm scared for myself. So I have to be scared for my son because anything could happen. There could be shootings in broad daylight. People don't care. A bullet doesn't have a name.
But that was just one of the 5 shootings the city of Hartford saw over the weekend. 20-year-old Isaiah Akeem Molina was shot at the People's Ballroom on Main Street just before 12 that same morning. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he died from his injuries. Yet another shooting happened later that night just before 9. It left 1 person dead and another hurt on Brook Street. The victim was identified as 41-year-old Dwight Watson. The other shooting victim is recovering in the hospital. Police say 2 other men who were also shot Sunday walked into a local hospital separately for treatment. Police tell us they believe the shootings on Main Street and Franklin Avenue were targeted shootings that started as an argument between 2 people. Despite the string of shootings, Hartford police say gun violence is trending down in the city. The department says, quote, "We have seen significant reductions in gun violence the last 2 years in Hartford. This weekend was an abnormality and not the norm here in our city." As of September 29th, the city of Hartford has already seen 60 non-fatal firearm assaults, 9 gun homicides with a total of 69 gunshot victims. At this time last year, the city had 58 non-fatal firearm assaults, 12 gun homicides, and a total of 70 gunshot victims. Police say they had adequate staffing over the weekend and will continue to keep that up, especially in areas that experienced recent gun violence. In Hartford, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
We've just confirmed that 7 firefighter cadets in Waterbury resigned after the city says they cheated on an EMT exam. All firefighters in Waterbury are now required to be EMTs, and Mayor Paul Pernaruski says 13 cadets took the EMT exam back in August. He says the test was administered by Seymour Ambulance and was taken on computers. Once the city was alerted to the possible cheating, the fire department went back and looked at video from inside the classroom.
Because they're doing these on a computer, they were able to bring up dual screens, or they had their phones with them, and they were able to take pictures of some of the questions, and there's a way that you can do this. I haven't taken a test in a long time, but apparently if you take a photo on your phone of the question, it will give you an answer. It will search it up and give you an answer.
Now, the mayor says 7 cadets resigned before any disciplinary steps could be taken. There were also 2 cadets who the mayor says lied about knowing the others cheated. Those cadets now have an additional year of probationary status. The mayor also says the proctor stepped out of the room, and that allowed the cadets to chat with each other. The city is now looking into the proctor and the company that administered the test. A New York man is dead after a driver crashed into him and others on I-84 in Farmington this morning. State police say 2 cadets were pulled over on the side of the highway near exit 37. 2 cars were pulled over, I mean. We're told the drivers were outside of their cars, and it's reported around 9:15 a.m. a Ram ProMaster crashed into them. Investigators say they don't know what caused this. Officers tell us 34-year-old Adam Pepe was rushed to the hospital where he later died. Other people were hurt in the crash, but we're told they're all going to be okay. No arrests have been made at this point. The crash is under investigation. Well, new at 6, we've learned the name of the woman who died after she was hit by a car last Friday in New Haven. Police say 42-year-old Waleisha Franklin was hit on L.A.T. Grasso Boulevard around 10 at night. She later died at the hospital. Officials tell us the driver stayed on scene and told them Franklin appeared suddenly in front of the car. They don't know where Franklin entered the roadway. The accident is under investigation now. Well, now to an update on the water main break in Waterbury. While the city hoped to have the repairs fixed last week, the age of the pipes caused more delays. Fox 61's Celine Arab joins us live from Waterbury now with how close the city is to a full repair.
Yeah, well, there is a good news update tonight in Waterbury. As you can see behind me here, crews are very much still working hard on that water main behind us here on Huntingdon Avenue, but hopefully it won't be for much longer, because earlier today we spoke with the mayor of Waterbury, who says this actually right here is their plan C for the problem. And he says, well, the solution they're working on tonight is a temporary solution. The good news is that water should be completely restored all across Waterbury by around 7 p.m. tonight.
At this point, we can do a repair just so that it'll stop leaking, so the water will not continue to come out. But it has to be replaced. It's, you know, it's old, and we're not going to cover it back up. So we will put the bypass in today, and then when the parts come in and we're ready to go in and replace that valve, we'll be able to turn these two valves that are being put on either side off again. The water will flow through the bypass, and there'll be no effect on the water in the city at that point.
Now, the mayor says they've worked the water repair schedule around making sure it didn't impact schools, so that schools could be in session today and moving forward. Unfortunately,
We appreciate everyone's patience. As I've said before, I know this is very, very frustrating to everyone who doesn't have water. I think it's nerve-wracking to people wondering if they're going to have water and how long it will last. But these are just very old pipes.
should I just say my live out? Now, the city of For now, the mayor says those households that had low water pressure earlier last week or had no water pressure at all, they need to continue boiling their water this week. They will test the water once the repairs are finished and let folks know when the water boil advisory is up. Reporting live in Waterbury, Celine Air, Fox 61.
Celine, thank you. September is Blood Cancer Awareness Month, and with the help of Blood Cancer United, over the next few weeks, Glenn Kittle is highlighting stories from survivors. He'll tell us more about their journeys from diagnosis to remission. And tonight, it's John Krause's story.
A 70% chance of survival. That's the number John Krause's doctor gave him when he was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia. Jokingly, he told me he would have preferred that survival rate to be 90%, but he is confident that he would pull through no matter what the estimate.
My motivation was, all right, I've got to be there for my wife and kids. I've got a career. I've got all these things that, like, I'm too young. It's not my time to go, right?
In 2014, John Krause was a father of 3 with a 4th on the way when the doctor diagnosed him with acute myeloid leukemia. His treatment required 7 days of 24-hour chemotherapy. He had family and friends helping him the whole way, and he also underwent a stem cell transplant that his younger brother donated, and he stayed in the hospital for another 30 days. For 5 years, John was in the clear, but his battle wasn't over yet.
My cancer did relapse, so I was going through great things. Everything was great. But then it also happened in 2020 again, in 2021 again.
John's cancer made its comeback for round 2 and 3.
I'll tell you, it was a punch in the gut. It really was, because it didn't feel the same. It wasn't the same symptoms, anything like that. It was very different.
For a brief moment, John's positive attitude toward treatment took a hit.
Can't even believe it. And I'm sitting in this hospital bed right now.
I was actually very mad.
Yeah.
I was mad. I wasn't like, I was sad, but I was like more like not happy about it. I'm like, I was just disappointed and mad.
But he never wavered.
Well, if I'm meant to be here and do this, I'm just going to beat it again. Just going to beat it again. So we went to eventually, after a couple days here in Hartford, we went to Dana-Farber. And that's what my doctor said. They're like, so much has changed in the 5 years in medicine. I'm like, fantastic. I love it.
And an unlikely source of inspiration helped spur John on.
And my doctor, I met my new doctor, and she put cure on the top of my paperwork when I know there's no actual physical cure for what I had. I found belief in that. I just saw her the other, like a few months ago for my follow-up, and I thanked her for that.
Krause celebrated his 50th birthday on September 17th and says he's healthier than ever. John also started Team John, an organization dedicated to helping those in an immediate crisis where a loved one is lost or displaced due to sudden illness or accident. Team John also raises funds for stem cell research at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. Krause aims to use his glass-half-full mentality to pour up some hope for the next person.
Although you can't sit here and worry that it's going to come back maybe someday, scratch that. Like, anything bad could happen. I mean, we all see the news every day of what's going on in this world. You could pass tomorrow for whatever. I mean, it doesn't matter. So don't worry and stress and dwell on like the what ifs, about the crystal ball, about cancer coming back. Just be grateful for every stinking day that you have with your family and your friends. Like, that's where I am now.
Team John will be hosting a golf tournament on October 17th in Bloomfield. The money goes toward the organization as well as Blood Cancer United. Blood Cancer United's annual Light the Night is back this year on October 9th. This year's walk takes place at a new location. That's at Rentschler Field. You can register to walk by scanning the QR code on your screen or by heading to the URL on your screen. Our very own Matt Scott will be the master of ceremonies for the walk that celebrates, honors, and remembers those lives that have been touched by blood cancer. If you would like to join the cause, we have a link on our website at fox61.com. In the studio, Glenn Kittle, Fox 61.